What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another page from the playbook, coming at you guys going into week 4 of the NFL season after another kind of an ugly, Sunday's football games were not super fun to watch. Let's just call it what it was in general, especially if you were a fan of the Cowboys, Dolphins, or Bears. Not very fun. Ravens looked good for half of a game. Yeah. Second half, maybe 3 quarters. Yeah, 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, pretty ugly. And then Colts, I don't even know if you're happy about that win if you're Bob. I mean, it's like, eesh.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that one. Last week picks. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their 2 things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. Not pretty overall. Colin wins the week at 9-7. Let's just say that. Colin wins the week at 9-7. Addison 8-8, 500 again, floating right there. Bobby in third place at 7-9 on the week. I was 5-11. That's the worst week I've ever had at 5-11. At 5-11, and ladies and gentlemen, we've got a celebrity in the room. He is back after last year where he was not here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say hello to Fade Brown, going 3-13 on the week. We have a new record for worst week in the show. We have done this for going on 3 years now, and that is the worst week any of us has ever had. Sage, comments, concerns, questions. Tell us about it.
So last week, I really thought, you know what? I gotta take the lead. I'm gonna start thinking with my head and not my heart. and now
I'll do it again.
I'm never doing that again, folks. Because goddamn, I cannot believe it went so poorly. That's all I got to say. I mean, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Yeah,
this
matters.
season is so messed up.
It is.
So yeah, now I'm just trying to get the worst every week, and let's see how low we can go. All right, let's shoot the moon.
I love that. That's a great way to go about it. No, you're good. Yeah, ugly week all around. I was counting them down, and I got Thursday night right, and then I got 2 games on Sunday. And I got both Monday night games, thank God. I got 2 games on Sunday, Thursday night, and then both Monday nights. Saved my week.
I got 1 on Sunday because I think I got both Mondays.
You did. You got both of Mondays, and you got 1 between Thursday and Sunday.
That's 1-13.
I was counting down. I was like, Sage, where? Nothing. I was like, oh my God. And then I saw the Mondays. Like, oh sweet, okay, he didn't go. I was like, 1-15. Come on.
Monday nights, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey.
Last Monday.
Colin also mortal lock victory. Colin 1-2 in the locks though with the anti-Nate parlay, slapping with ease. Two of the easiest money line. Bills won by 47 points and the Seahawks won by 21 points. I mean, my God.
And you adding the Jets.
I added the Jets on the bet. Easiest money I've ever made in my
easy as
life.
well.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go anti-Nate parlay all the time.
Talking about the 2 losses in the locks, I mean, Green Bay, Tennessee under was just dead after the first
Dead
quarter.
immediately.
Under 36.5, they had 24 after the first, so
Yeah.
count that as dead.
Yeah.
And then Arizona Cardinals getting absolutely shafted by one of the worst whistles I've ever seen.
Yes. What is that play being
2-minute
blown
warning.
dead for?
The ball is easily being snapped at
Snapped.
2:01. Would have been an easy pick 6.
Yep.
Gone over their team total. Instead, they finished the half with 10 points. We needed 13.
Yep.
So tough loss there, but the anti-Nate parlay.
Absolutely
Might
slapped.
have to run that back this week.
No, please, no, God.
Trust Tennessee.
Yes, he is
absolutely
trusting
not.
Tennessee is tough.
So we might not run it back.
We'll
But
see.
Tough week. Brings our running total to. What would that be,
You were
6-3?
5-1, so 6-3 on the year.
6-3 at this point. Still
That's not
hitting
bad.
2 out of every
With
three.
some fluke loss.
We'll take.
The Cardinals lost with some BS.
Yeah, that was some BS, truthfully. Refs had a rough weekend, again. Well, I'm not going to harp on the refs, but there were 2 plays in the Dolphins game where one ref blew a whistle, another ref didn't blow a whistle, and they let us play on, and we lost yards, and they're like, never mind. It was a false start on our left tackle. False start, very obvious. He goes back. One ref blows the whistle, the other ref doesn't. Skylar Thompson gets sacked, and they go, illegal formation. Penalty decline. It's like, what do you mean? It was a false start. No, because a false start would have blown it dead, but they're like, fuck, we screwed up. How many times did I see players looking around like he blew a whistle and the other ones are like, no, play on. Figure it out, guys.
That's bad.
Figure it out.
That specific play, he false start, and that caused him to be illegal.
Yes, because it's a false start.
So it's like, I don't.
And then one blows the whistle. It's like, just hammer that whistle.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
You're
blow
blowing
it,
it, yeah.
don't be like,
Commit to it.
yeah, don't give me a little tentative ass whistle. I need you to let that thing rip, brother. So Colin with a mortal lock victory, Bobby with a mortal lock victory, me, Sage, and Addison all losing them in spectacular fashion. Another thing on last week for me, I did a money line parlay to start the day. I'm like, there's no way this is losing. Cleveland Browns money line, they're not going to lose at home to the Giants. No way. Chicago Bears at home against Indianapolis, easy winner. On the road in Indianapolis, though, easy winner. Tampa Bay, easy money line winner. All three lost. So, absolutely devastating weekend for you, boy. Sage's sleepers, average week, I would say, pretty solid. P. Ryan was 7.
Okay.
Justice Hill was 7.4.
Okay.
Quentin Johnson with a touchdown, 12.4. Very solid. Doing that weird-ass dance in the end zone. Don't do that again, buddy. And then Whittington for the Rams, only 5.8. But if you'd gone with Tutu Atwell, that would have been an elite play.
Close.
An elite play. And then Opal, outrageous take. Commanders to win outright as 7.5-point dogs. Bingo. And then he did have Luke McCaffrey with 2 touchdowns, but he was 3 for 44 and was tackled on the 1-yard line. Nearly a big touchdown. So I'd give you at least a partial victory there.
Yeah.
A partial victory for an outrageous take. Take that every time.
Oh yeah.
And before we get into our power rankings, I've got a blind quarterback reveal. We're going
Oh,
statistics for this one. This one's going to be fun for me.
Okay.
All right. So, quarterback A, 64% completion. This is per season / career. 64% completion, 2,500 pass yards a season, 330 rush yards a season, an 85 career passer rating, a 51.6 QBR, 66 total touchdowns, 42 interceptions. So not spectacular numbers by any means, right? Very, only 2,500 pass yards a season and 300 rushing yards. Ugly. Quarterback B, 63% completion, so one lower. 2,900 passing yards a season, 254 rushing yards a season, so 400 more passing yards, but about 100 less rushing yards. 50 career QBR, so slightly lower. 60 touchdowns, so 6 less. 40 interceptions, so 2 less. Any idea on who these two quarterbacks are? One of them is well known as a awful quarterback, and one of them is routinely in top 5 lists.
I'm gonna go with one of them's got to be Darnold.
Okay. Is that okay? All right. I'll give you guys a second here to think. They're right about pretty average, like pretty equal QBs, honestly. And the quotations around them is, this one's worst quarterback ever. This one is generational talent. The generational talent quote might give one of them away. One of these guys, through his career, has been considered a generational can't-miss guy. So Sage might have a guess for one of them. That might be
I
right.
don't have a guess for either of the quarterbacks, but I think just listening to the stats, I think I would go with. I'd probably take quarterback 1, and I'm putting myself out there by saying that.
Quarterback 1.
And out of the 2 comparisons, quarterback.
You want him.
Yes,
Okay,
I would take
yeah,
him
you would
based
take
on
him
the
based
stats
on the
he gives us.
statistics. I think that's reasonable. I mean,
I like
More
Sam
touchdowns?
Darnold, but I'm gonna go QB1. Yeah, I'll say QB1 is T-Law.
Okay.
QB2 is Geno.
okay. Sage, guess.
I'm gonna say the same thing, but instead of Geno, give me Darnold.
Okay. Colin, guess. Any guesses?
I don't have a guess
Nothing.
for it. I'm taking
Okay.
quarterback A.
All right. So quarterback A
Please be nice.
is Daniel Jones.
Oh.
It's Daniel Jones.
Not nice.
Not nice. Quarterback B, Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
Trevor Lawrence. He has a worse career than Daniel Jones at this point. I mean, straight up, just averages. Who has better weapons? Trevor Lawrence. Who's had better coaching his whole career?
Yikes.
Trevor Lawrence. Who was the number 1 pick in the draft? Trevor Lawrence. And he is 0-8 in his last 8 starts, by the way. So
That's bad.
it's a lot. The Jaguars have not won a football game in 302 calendar days.
One of them has generational type money in a contract.
This is true. Well,
And
Well, they both.
Trevor Bank Stadium.
Trevor Bank Stadium, but Daniel Jones is getting $40 million a year.
Yeah, that's done after this year.
Yeah, it is. They're going to cut him. They have to cut him. They have to. Although, if they keep winning, who knows? Who knows?
Malik Neighbors saving that
Yeah,
job.
no,
Malik Neighbors might save that job.
Saving that
throw it
job.
to neighbors.
Yep.
Might get saved.
Agreed. And then last, actually, I'll save this statistic for after power rankings.
Okay.
Let's dive into power rankings. Colin, I'm going to start with you. It's going to be weird, folks. The NFL this year is not the NFL of the previous 3 years. It's just not. Colin, let's hear it.
Oh, I'm so torn because there's just a lot of teams that are kind of clumped in a territory. It's like, do you take a team because of how, like, their record, or do you take it based off the eye test right now? And so in my honorable mention, I'm putting the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers in my honorable mention this week.
Okay.
Yes, they're 3-0. It hasn't looked the best,
It's ugly
but
football.
that defense is
Nasty.
stifling. And hey, if they keep this up and Fields can take care of the football and just manage the game,
Yeah.
who knows
Uh-huh.
what the Steelers team can do.
Yeah.
At number 5, I'm going to put those Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, dude.
And I've been one of the bigger skeptics of Matt LaFleur. You know, is he just a merchant of having Aaron Rodgers at quarterback?
Right.
And he just seems to make it work with whoever is under center. And so
Works
Green Bay
well.
defense looks good as well.
Yeah.
Malik Willis looks good.
How is Malik Willis going to look good?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I got to give some love where it's respect where it's due.
Yeah.
And then number 4 here is where I'm really torn because I could have put Seattle on this list and I'm not because what we talked about pre-show, yes, you have to beat the teams in front of you, but the teams they've beaten, the quarterbacks they've played,
Awful.
Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, and then
Skylar Thompson / Tim Boyle. I want to die.
So yes, you have to beat the teams in front of you. I just haven't been the biggest believer in Seattle at this point. Now beat some of these other, more competitive teams.
Right, and then we'll talk.
I'm gonna hop in your hole.
Think.
Hop on.
Hey, yo.
Number 3, those Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, so is
Those-
Seattle number 4?
Seattle is not on my list.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm going Houston at 4.
Houston at 4, okay.
Tough
Houston at
loss
4.
In Minnesota, tough
Yeah.
place to play,
Very
loud
good
place
team.
to play, and they just got blitzed off the rip. And they
Brian
had no
Flores
answer.
had him in hell.
They had no answer for Minnesota this weekend, so I got Houston here at 4. I still believe in Houston and what they have going for them. Minnesota at 3 spoiled it.
Yep.
But Darnold looking like Darnold's never looked before,
Dude,
and that Brian Flores defense.
nasty.
Yeah.
He
Looking-
can coach a defense,
looking
dude.
damn solid.
Yep.
Number 2 here. This might be a shocker.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City
I knew it.
Chiefs
I knew
are
it.
2.
Yep.
And it's because yes, they're 3-0. Yes, they beat who's in front of them. They beat a couple really good teams in my mind.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say if, ands, or buts because you can if, and, or but your way into
All sorts of
all sorts of
nonsense.
ways. But the Chiefs just haven't really looked dominant at
No,
this point. And
they
once
never
start
do
looking
early.
Dominant, gun to my head, if I had to pick one team I trust the most, it is Kansas City.
Yeah.
Let's get that out there. But you talk about a no call on Kyle Pitts. You talk about a toenail against the Ravens. You talk about a 4th and 30. What was it? 4th and 36?
Against the Bengals
Against
with
the
that
Bengals.
PI.
It's I know plays are made and Mahomes gets it done when it matters, but I'm putting Kansas City at 2 just for that reason.
Yeah.
Just haven't looked too dominant. Like this team I have at number 1.
Yeah.
Circle the wagons for those September champions, the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
have just
Unstoppable.
looked unstoppable. Tough first half in week 1 against Arizona. Got to
Yep.
go into the second half.
They haven't looked
Got
back.
to go in against Miami before and after Tua was playing
Yep.
in that game, and then just absolutely pummeled the Jaguars last night.
Oh.
So Buffalo has to be number 1 at this point for me.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I won't do it because I hate them, but I get it. I'll jump in. I'm going honorable mention Green Bay. I'm sticking Green Bay in my top 6 teams. Doing this with Malik Willis. Are you serious? I mean, he looks fantastic in that offense. He's talking his shit against the Titans, which is hilarious. He's doing it against them. Got to respect, again, I've been a huge proponent for coaching is so important in the NFL. It gets overlooked all the time. And I thought LaFleur was a good coach, and he has looked like he's tailored the offense to work with Malik Willis. I got to respect it. Number 5, I got the Houston Texans. One bad game against arguably the hottest team in football. Doesn't kick you out, but man, they kind of showed that there's a little bit of a gulf between them and the top 2 AFC teams, in my opinion. Number 4, I've got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense looks insane, not asking too much of the offense. If you just game manage and play good defense, it's winning games. It's winning games in the NFL in 2024, man. You don't need Justin Fields to go out there and light it up because when he does, that's when you lose football games. When you say, hey, Fields, go throw it 40 times and we'll be okay. No, you will lose badly. Just run the ball.
Because both the running backs are hurt.
Ooh, Najee and Jalen Warren is, well, Najee plays. I know he's questionable. We'll see.
Oh, they play Indy. Never mind. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they could put anybody back there to run normally. Number 3, I've got Minnesota. I had Houston at the number 2 team last week, and Minnesota 34-7 their asses. That was unbelievable how good they looked. Again, Brian Flores, horrible head coach, horrible human being, fantastic defensive coordinator. Unbelievably good defensive coordinator. Andrew Van Ginkel is PFF's 3rd-rated pass rusher right now in the NFL. That's Andrew Van Ginkel, folks. I'm a huge fan. He is not that good, but he has been insane. Hey, wait. Love the guy. Not the 3rd best pass rusher in the NFL. Number 2, Buffalo. What does it say? What's that question right there? Is it September, Colin? It is? Then they're elite. Then they're arguably the best team in football, like they are every single season. You do not want to play the Bills in the first 4 weeks of the year because they're going to kick your ass to the point where Trevor Lawrence is benched. Benched for Mac Jones in the 4th quarter. He looks lost. The Dolphins looked lost. Save for a first half against Arizona where they gave up 17 points. They have just locked everybody up. They're doing this without their all-pro linebacker, Matt Milano. They're doing this without their 2 stalwart safeties. DeMar Hamlin had a pick last night, for God's sake. They're doing this. He's very slow. Very slow. They're doing this with a bunch of no-name defensive players, and they are absolutely dominating teams. I am going to just stay with Kansas City at 1 because, once again, they're not playing good football, and they're still winning games. And like the Falcons are a good football team, the Ravens are a good football team. I think the Bengals maybe are good. I don't know. They're 0-3, so hard to say that. But at the same time, like they still beat them. And so the Chiefs have played two before the season. If you told me the Chiefs were starting 3-0, I'd be like, oh damn, that's trouble. Yeah. Ravens, Bengals, and Falcons, they're trouble. That's trouble. So I'm gonna stay with the Chiefs at 1 for now, but. Since it's September, I could put Buffalo at 1 and be okay with that. So that's what I got. Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Steelers, Houston, and Packers. Addison.
Right on. I'm going to start with my honorable mention as well as these guys. I'm going to go with the Jets, Jets. The way Aaron Rodgers looked this last week, the confidence is growing back in the Achilles, the movement outside of the pocket. He's looking like his former self maybe a year before his last in Green Bay. And then don't get me started talking about the defensive side of the New York Jets. If they know the offense is going to be competent, watch out. That team's 2-1 after an ugly Week 1 game against the 49ers. So I've got them at 6. Number 5, got the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers here. Defensive side of the ball is playing absolutely insane. Only 8 points a game allowed. Most teams are going to be 3-0 if that's the case. But Justin Fields on the offensive side of the ball, not turning it over, keeping them on the field. And it's led to success. So I've got Pittsburgh at 5 at 3-0. Number 4, I do have Seattle in my top 5. And it's because they're 3-0. I'm just going to go off that fact that that's how they are. I understand the quarterbacks that they've played, but it's the offensive side of the ball. I was making fun of the Seahawks a couple years ago saying they're a pumpkin. Well, Dan, that pumpkin is still rolling because the offense is electric. So I got the Seattle Seahawks at 4. Number 3, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's sure, they're 3-0, and I understand, like we've said, the close wins, that's what it is. Once they have the dominant performance start to finish, I'm sure they'll climb back in my power rankings, but it's just the way they've looked through 3 weeks. Sure, they're 3-0, but they could be 0-3. They could be. Obviously not, though. So, the Kansas City at 3. Number 2, I got the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, baby.
September champs indeed. But the way this run game has transformed the offense, when Josh Allen can have a game like he did, they're going to be unbeatable. Because if they can run the football and he can be explosive in the passing game, shout out Keon Coleman, first career touchdown. Shakur is absolutely a monster. If they unlock that as well, watch out. This Bills team might not stumble at midpoint of the season. So I got Buffalo number 2. And number 1, after 3 weeks in the NFL, I got Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings as my number 1 team. The offense has weapons everywhere you look. They're going to get T.J. Hawkinson back at some point as well. That's just another weapon. And then you talk about Brian Flores and the defense of the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to blitz your head off. They're going to get to the quarterback. They're going to create turnovers. And if Sam Darnold has the weapons that he does in Minnesota and short field opportunities, he's making the most of it right now. So I got to give them some credit. I love KOC, Kevin O'Connell. Minnesota Vikings are the number 1 team in the NFL after 3 weeks.
The only comment I have on here is I'm surprised you didn't put the Commanders in honorable mention over the Jets. I thought for sure you were going to write it because you had them winning the division.
I almost did.
Sure
I can't, man, because I do love me some Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough. We know.
They're 8, and
Okay.
number 7's Packers, if I had to keep going.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Packers in there.
Fair enough.
All right, I gotcha. Sage.
All right. I'm going to say an honorable mention no one said this week. And I'm going to give it to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Philadelphia Eagles, they did stop the top-rated offense from scoring more than 15 points this week.
Very impressive.
Held them to 12, which was absolutely beautiful. Shaheed had 0 catches this entire game, and they were doing it.
In fantasy.
Yeah, exactly why.
I love that.
And they did a lot with a little right there. I mean, Devontae Smith went out of the game. They were working without A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley is carrying that team on his back right now, and it is working. Number 5, I'm going to roll with a lot of you guys. Give it to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, if you're winning these games without Malik Willis, we were literally thinking if Malik Willis can just win one game and keep them above water. And instead, he's dominating games. He looks efficient. Like
They are favored against the Vikings this weekend.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's insane. And I never would have thought that coming from like a Malik Willis ran offense. But hey, I mean, he ran for almost 80 yards last week. He had 200 yards passing. He's doing everything and more that you could even ask. And that defense is flying around too. Jair Alexander had a touchdown over the weekend. Granted, it's against Will Levis, and he does that every week.
That's a guarantee.
Yes.
Every week. Number 4, I'm gonna give it to the Detroit Lions. I know that touchdown was called back. It's still a hard team to play against. We called the Cardinals first half frisky this entire season, all last season. We know what kind of team they are. It's still a hard team to play. So I'm gonna give it to them just because they did play a harder team this week and they took care of business. You know, they did everything they could. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 64 yards and a touchdown, but other than that, they were pretty shut down the entire game. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. You lay 47 points on any team, and it's not something to gawk at, you know? I mean, they're killing it right now, especially when you take away Stephon Diggs last year, and they're like, oh, what is Josh Allen going to do without his star wide receiver? Well, he turned into the guy. He turned into the guy that can spread the ball around. I mean, no one thought Khalil Shakir was going to be a number 1. Keon Coleman got a touchdown last night, and let's be honest, no one really saw that coming because he's been kind of a bust.
Yeah, I mean, it was his only catch of the game, to be fair.
Yeah. I think it's like his second or third catch this year.
Yeah, I mean, that was his only target of the whole game.
Yeah,
He got
yeah.
one target.
And they learned how to run the ball, and that was their one knock, and all of a sudden they can run the ball, and unfortunately for Nate, he didn't run for 5 more yards, or else he would have beat me in fantasy.
Oh, my God. He got one more carry. I'm like, this is the one. Loss of a yard.
Love it.
Devastating.
Number 2, those Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
Those Kansas City Chiefs, you kind of beat me to it on the Vikes being number 1. But no, the Kansas City Chiefs, like you guys said, they're 3 plays away from being 0-3. Yeah. And what did we see 2 years ago with the Minnesota Vikings being 13-4 and immediately getting dismantled in the playoffs by the Giants, of all people? You know? I mean, it's not a sustainable way to win. Even if you are the Chiefs, I mean...
I want you to say on record right now that you think the Chiefs are going to get ousted right away in the playoffs.
I think the Chiefs are going to get ousted right away in the playoffs.
Time on that one. Let me just go ahead and clip that.
Yeah, no, that's
21
fine.
minutes in.
They're going down.
Okay.
First round.
First round and out.
First round. They're going to play... Who are they going to play? They're going to play...
They might be on a bye.
Pittsburgh.
They might be on a bye.
They might be on a bye, and Pittsburgh is going to come into town. No, they're going to go to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's going to be 11-0 for some reason later this year.
I will cry myself to sleep nightly if they get past 5-0, man.
Dude, devastating.
It's going to be sad. But give me those Vikings. Oh, my God, did they look good. Back-to-back weeks, beating the 49ers convincingly, beating the Houston Texans convincingly, and they're doing it without Hawkinson, without Jordan Addison. Jonathan Grenard is 3rd in the league in sacks right now. I mean, they're all over the place. Like you said, Brian Flores is one hell of a defensive coordinator. They have the scheme against any quarterback.
Yeah.
And Josh Arnold. Sam Darnold is not seeing ghosts. He is haunting defenses right now. He is the ghost.
He is the
and I love seeing it. He got sacked 4 times. You could not stop him last Sunday.
No,
Give me Sam Darnold, MVP right now.
And you're not wrong. You're probably not wrong. That makes me want to puke. That is unbelievable.
I mean, looking at quarterback play around the league, he's up there.
I mean, he's
up there.
Up there with Derek Carr.
650, 8 touchdowns, only 2 picks, man, and he's doing it with Josh Naylor as his number 2 weapon right now. That's
Naylor looks
crazy.
absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they're going to have a 3-headed monster at receiver.
Yeah.
Through 3 games, the Vikings have 16 sacks. They're averaging more than 5 sacks a game. That is unheard of. Against offensive lines like the Texans and the 49ers, I mean, those are solid offensive lines that they're just running through, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Speaking of the Detroit Lions, let me bring you guys the play of the week for this week. And, of course, I'll zoom in on it. You guys know what play this is. It was a classic hook and ladder. And I love how it's designed. This is against a man defense. I didn't even draw the defenders up here because it just doesn't matter. It was against man defense. You got a hat, on a hat, on a hat, on a hat. So what we got here, drop back. We got the running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, coming up and over. This linebacker's on the outside, and he's supposed to follow Jahmyr Gibbs. Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
We've got, this is brilliant. I love this. The tight end, Sam Laporta, slow plays this fade. He slow plays it, and you're like, is he even trying? Like, he's not even running hard. What are we doing? Slow plays this fade. Amon-Ra catches a quick in, and right here, as Jahmyr Gibbs and him intersect, he just flips it right to him. And it's perfect. So now you got Jahmyr Gibbs full head of steam. The whole defense is flowing this way. You've got 2 guys over here occupying 3 defenders. The defense is flowing this way to try and stop Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now you've got Jahmyr Gibbs with a lead blocker because Sam Laporta slow played that route. All of a sudden you see Jahmyr Gibbs flying upfield. Where's Sam Laporta putting his man in the dirt? Putting his man in the damn dirt. It was unbelievable. It was a perfect play. They won by a touchdown. I like to think that was the one that did it for him. An unbelievable choice of a play from that offense. And Ben Johnson? It's Ben Johnson. Brian Johnson was Eagles. Ben Johnson, man,
Next head coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
needs to be a head coach somewhere. The dude just gets offense. Fantastic play by Detroit in a game that they needed to win. Could not fall back to 1-2 and be 2 games behind the almighty Minnesota Vikings in that division.